Namaste, Vanakkam. In this series of Periya Puranam, today we are going to see some important devotees of Lord Shiva, the Naayanaars, as we call them. And today I'm going to talk about a couple more Nayanmars who did their best service to Bhagavan and then had the darshan of Lord Shiva and got the mukti or salvation with the blessings of Lord Shiva. Kungkuliya, Kalaya, Naayanaar. Kadavoorir Kalayandran Adiyarkum Adiyen. That's how Sundaramurti Nayanar worships this Kungkuliya Kalaya Nayanar. A place known as Tirukadavu. Even now it is very famous for its Abhirami, the Devi, and Kala Samharam, Amrita Gateshwarar, and that is Kala Samhara Murti, where Lord Yama was challenged by Shiva himself to protect the young Markandeya, the Chiranjeevi Markandeya. So that is a place where this Kungkuliya Kalaya Nayanar was born, and it was this Tirukadavur has been what we call the Padal Petra Sthalam, that is sung by the great four devotees of Lord Shiva, Appar, Sundarar, Manika Vachakar, Tringana Sambandhar. So Devara Padal, that is, they have sung the praise of this Kshetram. So, Kalaya was born in this Tirukadavur. He was born in a very good, celebrated Brahmin family. And as usual, he had a principle that he would feed the Shiva devotees, and also he had another important service to Lord Shiva, that is burning the incense, what we call Kungkulyam. Otherwise the incense or sambrani, as we say, different words, which brings fragrant smoke which is offered during the aratis, like the incense powder. Of course, incense sticks are also used, incense powder. So that is his main service. He will collect the Kungkuliya or the incense powder, and he will take to the temple and put it in front of the Lord, and he will sit there in meditation. Of course, the Lord has to show his devotion and his sincerity to the entire world. So he started making his devotee lose all his wealth. That's how Bhagavan will always give trials and tribulations to his sincere devotees, and to show their devotion to other people, he will take any step possible. So, in the case of Kungkuliya Kalaya Nayanar also, he had house, cows, everything was available to him. He had a good land, yielding land, and also cows and goats, whatever he could afford to bring up, everything he had. But slowly, all those wealth got deteriorated or started dwindling. Okay? And of course, when he was doing well with his wealth, all his relatives will come and stay with him, have a good meal and good vibrations, everything, and they will carry that. Everything continued till all the wealth was there, and even after the wealth got dwindled, the same service continued. And at one point, his wife and children went completely without food or water. And then the wife implored to her husband, what we have right now are some pots and pans, nothing else. Luckily, I have my Mangala Sutra, the Tirumangalyam, what we call. the, the significance of a married woman to wear it on her neck, which will have some gold in it. And she said, I have this one. Please go and get some food. And we have some relatives also at home. Our children are also hungry. Please get some food. And so she gave that. And when she told, Kalaya said, oh, you have that. Just put some turmeric there. For a woman, turmeric is the main identity that she is a married woman. Put the turmeric, the dry turmeric or the wet turmeric, put it in the thread, the yellow thread, and wear it and give that gold to me. Yes, I will go and bring all the necessary things, and then you can cook for our relatives and for our kids also. So that's how he took the gold which was given by his own wife from her own neck, and then he went to the market area. Always the test begins, right? So in front of him walked another who we call the seller, and he was holding a huge bundle or a huge sack which was emanating a wonderful fragrance, and Kalaya could not stop asking him, what does he have on his head? He asked, what do you have? It's bringing out so much of fragrance, and I love that fragrance, and it will give great joy to my Lord Shiva. What is that? He said, oh, I am trying to sell this incense in the market. That's why I brought it from the shipyard or somewhere from the foreign land. I'm bringing it. So everybody will like it, and I'm going to sell this in the market. That's it. Kalaya completely forgot the main intention for which he is carrying this gold, to go and get some groceries and bring it back home for the wife to cook. Completely gone. He immediately said, oh, this will please my Lord Shiva. He likes this, he will like this smell very much. And this is very rare also, you are saying. And so, what? I can buy the rice and dal and everything some other day. But this is something priceless, which I am not going to get every day. So, can I give my gold, and then can you give me that incense? Why not? When a person is ready to spare his gold for just the few rupee worth of incense, why can't you give? The seller said, yes. I am very happy. Okay, so he gave the sack to him, and then immediately he got the sack of incense, straight went to the Shiva temple in Tirukadavur. Completely forgotten about the house, the relatives, his wife, his kids who were all sitting in hunger there. His thought was to burn the incense and make Lord Shiva happy. Okay, so he went and put the sack in a safe place, and then he brought little incense from there and started burning in front of the Shiva Linga, and then completely sat in trance and meditation. For how many hours? Nobody knows. The wife was afraid, and she was really agitated that he was taking gold in his hand. Somebody would have beaten him or taken it away, or taken and run away also. She could not imagine anything what happened to him. He went right in the morning, and till in the evening time there was no trace of the husband coming back with the groceries or anything. So she was completely worried, and she did not know where to go and search for him. Okay, and then somehow from somewhere the rice bags came, the dal bags came, the vegetables came, groceries came, everything came and got filled up in the house. And in that hunger everybody went to sleep. So in the midnight time, Lord Shiva appeared in the dream of his wife, Kalaya's wife. Okay. Actually, not even the night time. It was because of our hunger. They all just slept. At least by sleeping, they will not feel hungry. So overpowered by hunger, they all just went dozed off, to say. At that time, Lord Shiva appears in the dream of that lady, and he says, you go and see, your house is filled with all the necessary ingredients, and you get up and you go and prepare the prasada for me and feed your kids and also your relatives. And she woke up and she thought it's all just a dream, because her thought was centered on that, to get groceries and rice and dal, so that she will be able to cook and provide to the relatives who are there and also to her children. So she thought that must be the thought. That's why I'm getting this kind of a indication. Anyhow, she had to wake up. Yes, the house was filled with all the necessary things what they need to have in a proper house to feed the kids and feed the relatives. Immediately she got up, she took a shower, and then she started preparing the prasada and to offer to Lord Shiva at home, and then offer to the relatives who are waiting and also the kids who are really looking for some food. At the same moment, Shiva appeared in front of Kalaya and said, you seem to be very hungry. You did not eat for some days now. Immediately you have to go to your house, have a good meal, and then you come and worship me. I don't want you to worship me in your hunger. You have to go home now. So when Bhagavan says that he had to go home, he was hesitant. Why should I go home? I'm happy here. Okay? I'm happy here sitting in front of you and you are talking to me. More than this, why should I be worried about my hunger? He said, no, you have to go home. You have to see what is happening there. So, out of respect and little fear with Lord Shiva, he went back to his house and he saw all kinds of necessary things to run a family is filled in the house. And he is asking his wife, from where did you get all these things? Then only he remembers that he did not come home with the groceries or anything, but he sold the gold, what the lady was wearing as the significance of her marriage, what we call the thali, or the gold which is present in that. Then only he remembers, oh, I sold your thali for the incense and I went to the temple. I didn't bring anything, but how did you get all these things? She said, I don't know. The Lord appeared and told that your house is filled with all the things, now you can get up and cook. That's how I am getting up and preparing the prasadam, and I am also giving to our kids. After offering to Lord Shiva, I am going to give the kids and all the relatives who are here. So that is how it happened. So Naayanaar, who used to offer Kungkuliya is the incense, he was known by the name called Kungkuliya Naayanaar. That's how Lord Shiva depicted the great devotion of Naayanaar of Tirukadavur, who always burns incense to him. In another instance, there was another place nearby which is called Tirupanandal. Okay, Panai means like a palm tree. Tal means at the foot of the palm tree there was a Shivalinga. So that's why it's called Tirupanandal. And in that place there was a lady by name Tataka who wanted to have a kid. And then she used to worship Lord Shiva in that sthalam called Tirupanandal. And she makes garlands every day for that Shivalinga. And she used to offer it. And one such day when she was ready to offer, her clothes started falling down, and she was trying to hold the cloth, but she was not able to offer the garland. Okay, and then she felt very upset that I am ready to offer, my clothes are falling, and I don't want to keep the garland elsewhere, and I have to adjust my clothing. I don't know what to do, and she was really in confusion and she was in tears. And what happened was, Shivalinga just bent down to receive the garland. Okay, so that was the bhakti of that lady who made the garlands every day. In what connection I am talking about this story? There we go. We are going to see another wonder done by Kalayanar. Then the king of that area, the Chola king, walks into the temple area. Then he said, why this Shivalinga is bending down? What is the reason? And people explained that this was the karunya, the compassion shown by Lord Shiva to that lady who wanted to offer the garland, because her cloth was coming down. She was trying to hold it with her hand and she could not offer. Bhagavan himself bent his head and received it. And so he said, okay, then there must be some reason to bring back the Shivalinga to its own position. So he brought elephants and tied a rope around the thing, and he was trying to bring it up. Shiva wouldn't budge. He wanted only the devotees to do that. Of course, the elephants are very powerful, and it's a king's order. Everything is powerful, but the powerful Shiva, he has to put his mind to do that. So, Kalaya, the Kungkuliya Kalaya Naayanaar, who was living not far away from there, he heard that the king is trying to do something with the Shivalinga, and he wants to put it up in the right place, and he came to that place. And then he saw, this lingam is bent, and what is that? And then he inquired the king, and he said, I am trying to bring back the lingam to its original position, but with all the efforts with the elephants and my own soldiers, nothing is possible. Okay, so Kalayanar said, I will try my best, but we will see whether Bhagavan listens to our prayers. Okay, then what he did, he implored the Lord Shiva, saying that, hey Shiva, why do you want to put everybody in trouble? You don't like your own devotees crying or weeping or just not feeling right. So why do you want to put them to test? And then if everybody has tried and they have not come to any success, I should also try. I cannot stand here and then watch and then say, yeah, this is what we can do. That I don't want to say. I want to put my own effort into it, and you should help me. What he did, he tied the Shivalinga with a rope, and the other side of the rope, he put it on his neck, and then chanted the Namah Shivaya mantra, Panchakshara mantra, and he started pulling it up. And then he said, if you want to bless your devotees, and if you are very compassionate, and if you know that it is your nature to always listen to your devotees, please do something. And then he was pulling it with his neck. The king tried with the elephants, but he said, as a human being, I have to do something. He tied the neck, rope around the neck, and he started pulling the lingam and just chanting the Om Namah Shivaya. Guess what? Shiva never fails his devotees, and he wants to show their true devotion to the other people also, because they will not, on their own, devotees will not talk about their devotion, because of me only this happened, they will never say that. So he wants to show in front of everyone, including the king, how sincere the devotion of Kungkuliya Kalaya Naayanaar. So then he pulled and he pulled and he pulled. Shivalinga came to his original position. And the king himself was astonished, and he fell at the feet of Kalaya and said, because of your devotion and sincere devotion only, Bhagavan listened, because I was trying to use my power as a king. He was not willing to accept that. And there is no need for him to accept my power. But he came down to your devotion. So for your devotion, Bhagavan has accepted your devotion and showed the world that he will do whatever the devotee sincerely asks. That in that way, Naayanaar was given all kinds of royal respect. And then he also, and then of course his house was visited by Tiringana Sambandar and Tirunavukar, Appar and Jnana Sambandar, both of them visited Kalayanaar's house, and he had fed them and he had fell at the feet of them, and he had taken their blessings, and of course he also attained the lotus feet of Lord Shiva by doing the great service of burning the incense every day in the temple despite his situation. So Bhagavan showed his devotion to the entire world in these two incidents. Namaste, Vanakkam.